Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, then welcome. My name is Allie, and in today's video, we're gonna do a little bit of a spring shop with me, and then I'm gonna take you back home where we're gonna edit and plan my decor for spring. I like to take a little time to edit what I have and to pull some pieces from storage so that I can plan before I actually start getting in there and decorating anything. I'll be sharing a lot of small tips and examples along the way, but nothing overwhelming. This is really just about setting the direction for the season. The timing of this is great because I just created another freebie for you. It seems like a lot of you gave me great feedback about my winter decor reset guide that I gifted to you guys a couple weeks ago. Well, I just created another one for spring. This is a spring planning and editing guide. It is going to get you ready to decorate for spring, breaks everything down for you by sections for spring. It's not overwhelming. It's just a very easy, minimal way to help you plan your spring decor, to see where you might have some gaps, so that once you are ready to decorate for spring, you can execute it beautifully and everything will reflect your choice, your style for your specific home. Look for that link down below in my description box as well. It's a free downloadable and it's my gift to you for the season of spring. All right, so let's get into it. First, we'll go shopping, then we'll come home for the edit. So without further ado, let's go shopping. We're getting started today at Walmart, and I was so excited because as dreary as it is outside, inside Walmart is ready for spring. So I'm going to walk you through the store, show you some of my most favorite items. I'll be putting links down below to everything in the description box, and I'll also be adding the prices on the screen like you see here. So starting out, if you're looking for something classic that is perfect for spring and very neutral, you might want to pick up one of these trays. Trays are one of my favorite ways to corral a group of items like candles, coasters, books, you name it. It's a great way to just tie everything together. And round placemats are another really great option. I love the organic feel of this jute placemat. You can buy a whole set of these, or you can just use them individually under styled vignettes. They had a ton of really beautiful planters, and I really love these beaded planters and these wavy planters. They have that terracotta finish, and they came in a few different hues for you to choose from. I have topiaries like this in front of my home, and I was so happy to see the My Texas House topiaries. The greenery was super realistic, and this is a great choice if you just want something that has low maintenance. I really like these wall sconces also. I'm loving that I'm seeing more of those battery operated wall sconces in stores. It's such a low commitment, inexpensive way to add lighting. They also had this beautiful arrangement, so if you want something that's done for you, you can pick up that soft eucalyptus arrangement. And I also really liked this small ginkgo leaf trinket tray. I think it'd be beautiful in a guest room or just even on a console table. And oh my gosh, look at this gorgeous vase. This looks like an antique vase, maybe something that you can find while out thrifting. I could not get over the quality in person as well as the price. It's just such a unique piece, and it's very delicate for spring, but it keeps those warm, earthy tones. Walmart had a lot of great pillow options, and I loved the velvet texture of this floor pillow. I love the rust color, and I think it would just look beautiful mixed in with some other warm spring colors. Like the colors found in this embroidered pillow. I went ahead and made a little bit of a grouping so that you can see how well these pillows go together with that celadon color and along with that white lumbar pillow. You can really come in here and give your couch a nice upgrade for a pretty good price. They had lots of great options as well as these bud vases with the very realistic florals inside them. I was super impressed with how realistic they looked. And if you're in the market for one of those rattan vases, Walmart has an excellent price. I also really loved this pressed floral glass vase. I'm always impressed with the planter options that Walmart offers, and this low stone bowl, this is one of my favorites. I love the warm color of it. I love the profile of it. It'd be great for a succulent terrarium or maybe just to house some of those moss filler balls that you can pick up on Amazon. This lamp is also one of my absolute favorites. There's just something so pretty and soft and feminine about the shade, and I really love that spring brown tone. This mirror is perhaps my favorite item of the day. I love this full-length filigree mirror. Look how beautiful it is. Just has such a beautiful color. I think this would look stunning in a master bedroom or a guest bedroom of your home. My next stop was my local HomeGoods. Now that all the spring stuff is out, you are just seeing so many really beautiful colors, beautiful sets for the patio, so many arrangements that are already done for you. So these prices are a little high, but if you also just want something that's really pretty, is a nice statement piece, you can find a lot here in this aisle. I also put some links down below for you to similar options if you can't find these in your local HomeGoods, but they had such realistic arrangements in here and it got me so excited for spring. Seeing all these gorgeous wreaths really made me want to give my front door a refresh, and I love lavender. This lavender wreath is just gorgeous. The one that really caught my eye was this Martha Stewart wreath. This is beautiful if you celebrate Easter. I love the natural and organic feel of it. I love the burlap. I'm thinking of either purchasing this or maybe doing a DIY on this. So if this is something that you'd like to see a DIY video on, leave me a comment down below and let me know. I have also lucked out and found some really beautiful stems over at HomeGoods. Some of my favorite stems came from HomeGoods. They were kind of just found on a whim, but they really do have some great options that look very natural, very realistic, especially these yellow ranunculus stems, just gorgeous. And then these terracotta pots caught my eye. I love that braided detail. These have the stamp that they were made in Italy. Just such high quality, and I could not get over the price of these. I could see styling these in clusters, either in our screened-in porch or outside on our patio. This is one of my favorite sections to shop every time I go to HomeGoods. They have such unique bowls and trays, vases, and just such organic materials. Like everything you see here is either marble or petrified wood, stone, ceramic. I always luck out in this section. And if you're into that powdery spring blue, they had so many gorgeous pieces here of all different shapes and sizes. I was especially drawn to the vintage looking ones with these delicate floral patterns on them and the handles on either side. They're just so beautiful. And look how cool this one is. It is a Pride and Prejudice book vase. I've never seen anything like this before, and I really love that tone of green. It just has a beautiful peacock pattern on it. I think it would look gorgeous styled on a bookshelf or even just on the side of your kitchen island with some beautiful tulips coming out of them. I spent some time in their lamp section because they had so many really impressive options here. I love this vintage vibe that's come back, and I really loved all of the soft powdery blue colors here, all the floral patterns in both the lamp shades and the bases. These wall sconces caught my eye. They are so impressive in person. I love the size of them. I really love how just different they are. They're just vintage, super unique. I like that they're LED so that you don't have to worry about any kind of wiring, and you can really experiment with these in so many places in your home. You can purchase 2 of them and maybe have them flank the mirror in your entryway console table. You can just place one if you have a very small strip of wall that you just want to really jazz up and have it look beautiful. So many options. Excellent, excellent prices, and they're just gorgeous designs. They also carried the lights that you hang up over pieces of artwork, which I thought was really cool, and I've never seen those inside HomeGoods before.
I'm always looking for items to swap out on our dining table and our coffee table. Those are the largest surfaces in our home, and they tend to just eat up the most decor. So I always like to just corral them with a tray or some kind of serving piece like this. And I really loved this oval one with the handles. I love the organic material, and I just think it would be such a substantial size to put there to give the space a lift and make it feel different and refreshed. Of course, they were starting to bring out some of their Easter stuff, and I really liked those little vintage bunnies. And given that it's spring, they had so many options for storage. And look at these little storage containers. I would use these as both a glass and a storage container, but I love the tulip patterns and the little ducks. They're just absolutely perfect for spring.
All right, so we are back home now. I have my bin in front of me and a few items that I'll be sharing with you. I like to work in categories because it just helps me compartmentalize things and stay organized. So the categories that we'll be moving through are stems, vases, trays, art, and organic elements. So in going through my bin, I have items like this fern wreath. This is something that I really like to use as a candle wreath, maybe in a lantern. I also have a few of these, so I can attach these to the backs of my chairs. But ferns to me always really signal springtime, and I really like the green color of these. Succulent picks are one of my favorite items for spring. If you guys have been watching me since last year, you know that I really like to decorate our dough bowl in the center of our dining table, and I really just love mixing all of these lush colors. They definitely scream spring. They are vibrant. I think that when you mix like the purples and the greens, items like these are just such an easy, inexpensive way. I mean, these are at Hobby Lobby. It's where I got most of these. And if you purchase them on sale, then you get them 50% off. So they wind up being like $1, $2 each. And they make such an impact because they're such an easy thing to pop on a bookshelf and just really bring that spring vibe. I also like to always keep a few cascading stems on hand because they are a really great way to just alternate how you dress up your vases. So sometimes I like large branches in my vases. Sometimes I will just style a vase without florals in them, but sometimes it's also really nice just to have a different shape to your vase by just cascading down and out of it rather than up. I always like to use pampas grass because I feel like it is another great way to bring in texture and it breaks up the green because sometimes I can really go overboard with my stems and it winds up feeling like there's too much greenery in one space. But this will still bring you that texture without having things be bright green where everything feels like it's competing. Now, because this one has been in my bin for a while, it's definitely been a little bit messed with and it doesn't feel as bright and fresh as it has in years past. So stems like this, I probably will get rid of this batch and purchase a new one off of Amazon. They're pretty inexpensive. And again, they just really help to add in that extra texture. These are one of my favorite sets. I styled with these last spring. I actually found these at HomeGoods. They're just so pretty. They have such a beautiful color. It feels like they're just starting to turn over to spring and summer. I wound up purchasing 2 sets of these last year because they just feel very classic to me, very neutral. I cannot wait to style with these this year. I'm so excited. And that's how you know. It kind of reminds me of like that Marie Kondo craze that was going on a few years back where you hold up an item and you ask yourself if it brings you joy. But that's something that you can do with all of your spring items is just look at them and decide, like, does this bring me joy? These are stems that definitely bring me joy. So in order to keep a good variety and a good balance when it comes to stems, I like to have different types. So I've already shown you a few picks that you can pop into little planters. I shared with you those green ones, which are like a fuller stem. Then I shared the cascading stems, which give a different shape. And now I have another type of stem. Again, these are from last year. I absolutely loved styling with these stems last year. These are from Michaels. And one of the things that I love most about these stems is that they just give so much height and they have a great structure to them. You can really just bend them any which way. So these are great because they really give that branchy kind of look. So as you're moving through your stems, if you're feeling overwhelmed, whether you're at home in your own collection or if you're out in the stores, ask yourself if you have a good variety. And that doesn't mean that you need a ton of each category, but it means you have one that's maybe branchier and taller like this. Maybe you get a couple that are cascading, and then maybe one or two that are succulents and smaller. If you have too many that are large and branchy like this, and maybe you have a smaller space, then it might be a good time to consider getting rid of a couple of those because you don't want to have too many competing stems in one main area. Moving on from stems are vases. What I like to do when it comes to vases is I think about them similarly to how I think about stems. I want to make sure that I have a good variety, that I have ones that offer different structures, different shapes, ones that are different sizes and made of different materials and colors, right? For example, I have this one right here that is a really nice organic vase. It has a nice wood texture, and obviously you can see the shape. It's a taller cylindrical vase. Here's another beautiful option for a vase. It's glass. As you can see, it's a completely different shape than the one that I just showed you before, and it's made of a different element. So again, gives that variety in my space. And then we have stone, different kind of a shape. It's rounded, but it's not as squatty as the glass one. I love the colors and the organic textures of this one. It just has such a natural feel. And this is the kind of vase that you can have on its own, or you can place stems in it like I have here. So if you're going through your items and you feel like you have too many of one thing, it's always a great idea to consider what you can let go of. I do notice now that I'm home and I'm seeing what I have that I definitely do not need any more vases at the moment. I have enough here. I feel like I've covered all the categories. So I think that when I go back out and do some more spring shopping, I'm not going to spend any money on vases. And this will help me save money for the other things that I do really need. Next on the list are trays. I really believe that you can never have enough trays. They're easy to store because lots of times they're nice and flat, but it's such an easy way to change the look of something that is minimal effort, very inexpensive. I like to keep trays like this on hand. This is just a plain beaded round tray. I have another round tray, but it's just a darker wood, and this one comes with a handle. But then I have different shapes, so I always love a good dough bowl. The most important thing about trays is that it's a great way to group items together and make them feel like they belong. So sometimes if you're looking at a surface and you're like, I have a lot of items here, I don't know, something's missing, like I just need it to feel more tied together, try placing those items into a tray. For example, you can make a candle station out of a tray. You can have maybe some coasters and a sculptural item. You can stack some books in here. Whatever it is, just having everything corralled in one space and giving everything a home makes things feel less cluttered and more styled. I have my extra large dough bowl. This one I usually save for the center of our dining table because it's so big. I do have two candle holders here. If I place one of each, now I'm taking out those cascading stems and just sort of placing them around the candle holders. Add in some of those succulents. Of course, I'm just doing this really quickly just to give you an idea that if you go to a place like Hobby Lobby, or maybe you see a few different styles of succulents and things that you like, buy a few different types of them and then tuck them into a tray or a piece like this. Now, of course, this is looking a little bit messy. I'll have to play around with it a little bit more, but you can see how just having the two candle holders together, surrounding it with some greenery and corralling everything into a tray just feels very stylish and intentional. There's really so much that you can do to style your space with trays, and they are abundant. If you go to your local HomeGoods, you will find so many different trays, so many shapes and sizes, like the ones that I showed you in the shop with me. It's a great way to make your spring decor really pop. So next up is art, and I pulled out a few pieces of my spring art so that I can just reassess. It's been about a year, so I want to take a look at them and see how I'm feeling about them this year. So I have this piece which I purchased last year from HomeGoods. It is a Petal Lane framed art, and this is one of the pieces that I know I absolutely love. I had it up in our kitchen last year. It just has a very light spring vibe. I love the wildflowers in it. This frame to me is something that is so timeless, and it really just mixes in with so many different pieces of decor. So this is definitely a keeper. I also have some art that I printed off of Etsy, and I use them to create a gallery wall. The digital download that I purchased has a huge collection. So I am not sure if I'm going to swap out the prints that I had last year, maybe just to have some variety, or maybe print out some new images to put in our bookshelves. But one of the ones that I loved from last year that is just so adorable and so spring to me is this little bunny print. I actually got a frame that's very similar to this. And this is kind of how it looked, although the frame was a little bit smaller. And I already know, again, I'm so excited to put this out because it's just adorable. I just love the style of it. It goes perfect with spring decor. Another thing I like to do is to mix in vintage pieces and antique pieces. So this is a piece that's really close to my heart. It's a stitch work and it was made by my great Aunt Carol. My great Aunt Carol was like another grandmother to me. She didn't have children of her own, and she was very close with my grandma. They actually lived together, and she made one of these for each and every season. So one of my favorite things to do for the season is to swap out this piece of art and change it over to whatever season it is. Typically, I feature her seasonal stitch work on a shelf in our guest bedroom. So right now I have the winter one up, and in just a couple weeks, I'm gonna be swapping it out for this one for spring. I always like to mix in pieces like this together with the pieces that I just maybe purchased. So I have the new, I have the old, I have the modern, I have the antique. And I think that mixing pieces like that really helps to tell the story of your home and makes you feel more grounded in your own space. So I have one piece that I think I might be actually letting go of. It's this piece that I purchased last year from Hobby Lobby. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I really liked it when I purchased it. I think I just realized though, after having it for a season and moving it around a little bit, trying it out in different spaces, it just doesn't feel quite right for me to bring it back out. I don't love the frame on this one. It's just, I feel like it's one of those pieces that I can let go. So I think what I'll do is I will either give this to one of my sister-in-laws or one of my friends. Another thing I'll do is I will sometimes donate items that I'm not using anymore. And if it's something really special that I just don't have a place for anymore, I might sell it on Facebook Marketplace. But you have options. So I always try to balance between hanging on to too much stuff versus letting things go. I don't like to buy new every year, so I'm not encouraging always buying new decor every year. I don't think that that's sustainable. It's expensive. But I do like to go in and edit like I'm doing here. And once in a while, just let go of something that feels like it's no longer serving me anymore and maybe could find a better home somewhere else. Another category that I always like to keep on hand are organic elements. This might be my favorite category. And if you guys know me, then you know how much I love moss. I say that so many times in my videos because it's just such an easy way to bring that warmth and greenery to a space. So I will typically buy a bag like this from a place like Hobby Lobby or Michael's. They sell them on Amazon. But I always like having this because it just adds such a softness. Moss is just so versatile. You can use it in terrariums, you can use it in planters, you can use it in trays. I like to sometimes place moss in a tray with some candles. That's a great way to just style a tray for the season of spring. Rocks are another great natural and organic styling element. I like to fill glass candle holders with rocks. I just think that they add such a nice, beautiful element. They're also great to put at the bottom of a vase. So maybe you like bringing real flowers into your home. You can just get some glass vases from your cabinet and then place some rocks at the bottom and add your stems in there with a little bit of water. And it just makes things feel really natural and grounding. Then you have other natural elements. This is a bag of these faux artichokes. These are also a really great styling tool for your kitchen because they just give that really subtle texture, that really nice natural and organic feel with a beautiful earthy color. So going through all of these different items made me realize what I'm leaning into this spring, which is definitely organic textures, calm styling. It's helped me figure out what I could use when I go out to stores and what I definitely have enough of and I do not need. So this will also help make my shopping more efficient because when I go to a large place or maybe an overwhelming place, like a place like Hobby Lobby or HomeGoods even, I now know which sections I can skip and which sections I can go to first. So this will really help me to make smarter purchases and to not bring home things that I know I don't need. And in my upcoming videos, we'll be doing some more shop with me's. I'll be sharing with you guys my spring haul, the items that I actually did purchase, some DIYs, a little thrifting, and just some other fun ways to get your home ready for spring. I really hope that you liked this one. Don't forget to pick up my free guide in the description box. I'll put the link for it down below. It is my spring planner. It's going to help you edit your own decor, and I think it's really just going to help you get in the mood for spring and really get organized so that you can do the same thing. You can shop with intention, not overspend, and release anything that you no longer need. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs thumbs up, drop me a comment down below, maybe share it with a friend who could use that spring planner or just likes to organize and edit. Stay tuned for more fresh spring content. I can't wait to share it with you. Thank you again so much for being here, and I will see you next time. Take care.